All right, let's start over again. And the reason I say that is because earlier today I wanted to do a comparison on both these generators. And since I have my son here to do the filming and YouTube editing, I want to do an informative video and check what the decimal reading between these two units are and do some comparison. But I started the Craftsman first pull, went to start the Honda, and I couldn't get it to start. Well, I've had both of these units brand new sitting in my race shop for about 6 months now with the same gas that I put them in them on the same day, and I started them both about 6 months ago. And both of them started right up. Today, this one first pull, this one, I had to take the whole carburetor apart. Thankfully so, I had enough stuff here at the house that I could take the carburetor apart, clean out the jet, I got it all put back together, and hopefully it'll start for us now so we can do some testing. So, but in the meantime, what I want to do is walk you through the differences I've seen between these two units before we even get as far as starting them up. I know that I've been a Honda fan, a fan of Honda all my life. I think everything they build is great. I'm a little discouraged about this situation today, and but we'll get through it. The biggest difference is, though, that I can see between the two units is the overall size of the Craftsman. It is a little bit larger unit. It's a little heavier. I've got a scale behind me. We can actually weigh them. They're both still full of fuel. There are some subtle differences between the Craftsman. You have to put oil in the Craftsman, you have this little compartment here on the side that just a thumb twist and it comes out. So this one here, you've got to actually take a screwdriver and take that whole cover off. Both of them have the plug access in the top, same kind of deal. I did notice that the choke on the Honda here is on the side, and it has where the choke on the Craftsman's on the front. You got a couple USB ports, to plug into, and you have a 20 amp 3-prong plug that the Honda does not have. The surge on the Craftsman is 3,000, and this one's 2,200. And other than that, they're very similar. They're both brand new. They don't have any use on them other than just starting them here. And the weird thing is when I started it up about 6 months ago at the shop, I let it run. This has a feature where you basically can turn it off, or you can run it out of fuel, in which I did. I ran it out of fuel thinking it's going to drain the carburetor bowl out of fuel and it would be less likely to have any residue, so it should start right up. The Craftsman doesn't have that option. I just ran it and shut it off. It's been sitting for 6 months with the same fuel in it. When I went on YouTube to figure out, okay, what's going on here? What am I doing wrong? Am I missing something? I stumbled upon a lot of posts or videos where this is a common problem with these Hondas. If you leave them sitting, the fuel, I guess, if you don't run ethanol-free fuel, which I never do, and I probably should, maybe that would correct the problem, but the point is this one and this one have the same exact fuel from the same jug. This same jug I use for my lawnmowers, the same jug, I poured this one full and poured that one full. They've both been sitting the same amount of time. This one cranks up first pull, the Honda did not. Well, that leads me to believe that it kind of puts the theory to rest that ethanol fuel could have corrected it. Maybe, I don't know. I just know that the Craftsman started up no problem. I didn't have to take it apart. So let's move forward. I've got a scale to weigh both of these since they are both full of fuel, and I wanted to see. I never really weighed them. I could just tell there was definitely a difference. It feels like around 10 pounds or so difference between the two. All right, let's see what this Craftsman was. It's definitely a larger unit. So we've got 67, call it 67 pounds, 67 and a quarter pounds. Like I said, they're both full of fuel, both have oil, and they're both ready to go. And with hurricane season starting, I want to have them ready to go. So it's 53 versus 67. So yes, there's a 14 pounds difference between the two units. So my plan is I don't have a lot of stuff here at the house, but I've got, I think those are 4 total 300 watt bulbs. I've got a fan, and I've got a little compressor that I wanted to load test these And what I want to do is basically start them up, stay in the same distance between the two, and do a decimal reading with my phone. And I made a list, and it's the same, you know, all the information's online, but you know, they're both carb exempt. Fuel capacity is real close on both of them. The Craftsman's about 2 inches taller, give or take. You know, we saw the weight difference of, you know, what, 13 pounds or whatever it was, 14 pounds. The length is 2 inches longer on the Craftsman. The width is 2 inches, about 2 inches wider. Both have a three-year warranty, and their claim, from what I could find on Honda, is about 57 decibels, 48 at quarter load. So we're gonna find out. I'm gonna stand about 8 feet away from each one, and as long as this Honda starts up, I don't have to take the darn thing back apart. If I do, I'm probably just gonna throw it off the back of my truck going down the highway because I'm just fed up with it. So hopefully it starts on the first pull, and if it does, maybe it'll prove to me why it's $200+ more than this Craftsman. But thankfully so. I had some pin gauge kit here, you know, for carburetor jets and stuff. I was able to clean the jet out because it was gummed up, and it seems to be started and running fine. So give me a few minutes, and I'll be right back, and I'll get set up and see what this thing with these two generators side by side will do. All right, hopefully that Honda will start. Not guaranteeing it, but we'll get through it one way or another. So what my plan is I've got my phone set up to measure decibels. So we can measure, this stick is 8 feet exactly. So I'm gonna start, we'll start with the Craftsman, I'll start it up, and I'll walk back here, and from 8 feet, we can see how loud it is on my phone. And then I'm gonna plug in the lights. There's 4 bolts total at 300 watts a piece, so that's 1200 watts. I'm not quite sure what that little fan is. It's probably not very much. And then that compressor out there is just a little 110 pin nailer. So I figured, I don't know, maybe 1500 watts, you know, between, but it'll be an even comparison because we'll end up plugging it in the Honda if the Honda starts. But I wanted you guys to see a few things that I noticed too. This Craftsman seems to run a lot smoother. And when it's in economy mode, it's a lot quieter as well, I think, than the Honda. But we're gonna find out. The phone won't lie. So here we go. Hopefully this one starts up. I've hyped it up so much, so let's see. Okay, so that's an economy mode. That's the best fuel efficient mode there is. So staying back here, 8 feet. Call it 65. Kick it up. So that's about as loud as it's going to get, even with everything plugged in. So from 8 feet, it's about 67. 67. Plug everything in. Raise it up a little bit with everything on. With all 4 of those bulbs, those 300 watt bulbs, and that compressor running, that's 72 decibels. All right, now, hopefully the Honda will start and we'll be able to do the same test. All 4 light bulbs powered up and the little compressor out there on at the same time, but we'll get a reading with it just in the economy mode with the echo throttle turned off. We'll see how loud it is, and we'll go from there. Cross your fingers that this thing starts. Right. Okay, so that's in the slowest setting. about 65 decibels. Before I put a load to it, I'll kick it up. At 8 feet. It does seem louder. All 4 bolts on. Call it 75. I'm going to start this one back up. I'm going to show you something too that I noticed. Now, for what it's worth, as you can see on the video, this thing is shaking like a you-know-what in church. This one here, nice and smooth. Smooth as can be, you know, so if this were like on a boat, or something like that for that matter, I would imagine that you would feel those harmonics, or even in an RV or a trailer or something like that. Even though it's got these rubber pads, I can still feel it. I can feel it. Where this one here, it's a lot smoother. It's a heavier unit, but it's a lot smoother. When I up and up, actually that was enough. So both these units are running. Okay, so here's the difference. This one here seems to be a lot smoother. If I had waited to check vibration, that Honda definitely has a lot more vibration. And when you kick them both up, seems like this one's louder to me. Dollars and cents. Is the Honda worth $200 more? After having the problems that I had after it sat with the same fuel in it, I think I'm going to be selling that Honda and keeping my Craftsman. This one seems to be a far better unit. I'm not real concerned about size and weight. It's not that big of a deal to me. But having the extra 800 watts of surge capability is also a huge plus for me as well. So after conducting that test, there's no doubt in my mind that the Honda, having the issues that it had and not starting after sitting for the same amount of time with the same fuel in it, I don't want to take that thing apart. I don't want to take the cover off, drain the fuel out of it, put some secondary petcock in there, rig something up that's $1,000 piece of equipment, when this you can buy on eBay for $600 I saw, brand new in the box. You can buy them at Lowe's for $750 or whatever they are. So I think I'm going to end up selling that, not think, but that Honda's going down the road. I'm going to end up selling it, and I'm going to keep this Craftsman. So if anybody else has any other tests they'd like me to do besides what we did between the compressor and the lights, that's all I had today available. I'll gladly do. I was going to see which one used more fuel, but online the specifications, they say they're 4 hours at what, 50% load. So I would tend to believe that. Obviously the Craftsman, like I said, was 13 pounds heavier. Dimension is a little bit bigger. They're both going to fit in the back of your SUV. They're both going to fit in the trunk of a car. A woman should be able to pick that up and carry it. And heck, for what I'm needing it for, the Craftsman can sit in the garage covered up and will start 6 months from now just like it did today. That Honda, I can't honestly say it's going to do the same, so down the road it goes. So thanks for viewing. Check out our channel. It's Pasco Power Products. Stay tuned because we got a lot of more exciting things we're going to be testing. And if you have any comments, please feel free to comment below. Y'all take care and be safe.